Welcome to Don't Quote Us on This. I'm Maddie, and this is Kory.
Hi, that's me. I'm Kory.
If you were here watching last week, we did not end up playing Pandemic. The dish that we made for our potluck was hash brown casserole. Big hit. There was just a tiny little sliver left.
No, climb on the table, please.
Did a yard sale this week.
Yeah, that did all right for what we had, I guess.
I mean, we didn't have very much stuff.
I feel like we got more from it than we'd sold from it in terms of size. I feel like if you took everything we sold and put it in a pile, and we took everything we got and put it in a pile, we've received more than we have given away. But what we have received is better for us in the long run.
Well, what we received to sell, we can keep them
Yeah,
for ourselves
yeah,
or sell them.
yeah. Well, we don't have a wheelbarrow. We don't have one. So that makes things a little easier, especially in the backyard. 'Cause I have such trash bags I have to move, and they're very heavy. But if I could just wheel that back there and throw them in there, and then wheel it to the front and throw it away, because I was gonna wheel the whole trash there and throw it away. But
Well, on those camping chairs, all of ours are shot.
yeah, they've been sitting outside in the weather for a long time, so they've been just getting destroyed.
Yeah, that's our own fault.
Yeah, but to be fair, we used them for a while with um our fire pit, and then our fire pit got destroyed, and we stopped using the fire pit for a while. So what's that? You want to say something? You want to talk to everybody? You let them know. Go ahead. Go nuts.
Oh, now she doesn't want to tell stories.
That's all right.
Go right here.
That's
It's okay. Hey. Man, the lighting is just like perfect on her right there.
yeah. I think it helps that we don't have that blind in the back opening.
Well, maybe we should.
No, I think that might be okay. That.
I think it really just enhances her more.
I say it makes me look darker. Turn it off.
Hmm?
I don't feel as dark now.
Here, we'll just bring her into the shadows.
There we go.
Oh my goodness. Can I stand up?
She's like, I was just getting started. Anyway, it's been a busy week. We've had a lot of things going on. Obviously, the friends dinner was last week after we did the podcast. That was fun. Everyone had a good time. Joe's broke my cornhole board though, so that was fun. But it's fixed now, so now we just have to test it and see if it holds together.
Which we definitely should do that today.
We'll see. It's kind of hot outside. I don't know if I feel like going outside
It's
right now.
always going to be hot outside.
Maybe if we go out in the evening.
We could do it in the evening.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll let y'all know next week how it holds up.
And then what else do we have?
Oh, by the way, I'm having a little friendly competition with his other podcast. His friends think that he is abandoning them and replacing them. So.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But if you guys are listening, I don't think he's replacing you guys. I think he's upgrading.
Ridiculous. I mean, it's nice to have somebody to talk to. A couple of the guys, like if they're missing, the podcast kind of falls apart without them. Um, but for majority of the time, when I do have the right cast and crew there, that podcast is so much fun to do. But we did have I'm not going to say the name of the podcast, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit.
You can talk about it.
We had an episode come out like last week or something. That was pretty rough for me because it's just kind of hard to record when because the guys because there's 8 of us doing it, they think that it's okay to play a game of doing the podcast, so it's very difficult to get their attention when they're focused on something completely different. Because believe it or not, they're not good multitaskers. And so, um, a lot of times what ends up happening is I ask them like a question, like a generic question to the whole group, and I get like one or two people responding, and everyone else just kind of ignores the question. And then suddenly, like the end of the podcast comes around, and we do like final goodbyes, and then they chime in there, and it's like I forgot they were there the whole podcast because they were non-existent the rest of it.
I've seen some endings like that because every so often I'll chime in on that one and just watch it.
Yeah. So.
Just to get you guys some extra views and stuff.
Yeah. So we're obviously working on making things better there, but also working on making whatever I learn over there, I bring here, and try to enhance whatever experience we can here. Because every step of doing this is going to be a learning process. Like right now, it's on a laptop camera with a Turtle Beach mic. But like in the future, we could have a better camera. We could have a better microphone. We could have our own microphones. We can have a camera mounted somewhere so that it's looking down on us. So stuff like this. Like, there's so many things that can happen and change in the future, but it's all experimental, and it all requires us to work together to find success together. So even though sorry, there were like growing pains with the old podcast that had us get to where we are, even though we're still not where I want to be yet. Um, it has allowed us to, when it comes to doing this podcast, when we jump right into it, I already knew what to do. All I had to do was explain it to you, and we were literally able to we literally had the discussion about it, and then within a week we had our first episode done and uploaded. And I remember when we started doing the other podcast, um, it took me a minute. I had to plan out like who all we were gonna have. I asked the entire group, anticipating that at least two guys would be like, "Nah, that doesn't sound like my thing." All eight guys in my group chat were like, "Let's do this," you know. And so it was just kind of fun to do and learn from that. So and then make a logo, make a name, all this stuff, and I think it helps now that if you're stuck in a rut and you don't have any ideas, you can always use AI to help you figure stuff out. Uh, whether it's like a name, a premises, whether it's an image, you know, and it's only going to get better. But that also kind of scares me in a way because I feel like eventually it's going to get to the point where you can make some pretty disturbing images that look very lifelike. So, um, but that's not like a problem for future us. Today us don't have that problem. So get off the table, please. Thank you.
You want some watermelon, Miss Ma'am? Yummy.
I think I will say the one upside this podcast does have to the other podcast is that we have two children that are constantly on camera versus that podcast that has maybe a kid every like couple episodes. So um, obviously it just shows we're very busy as parents, and obviously all the other guys are very busy as parents too. But it helps to have the spouses we have being so super to take care of the children while we're able to do our 1 hour podcast without being disturbed. I think that really helps out a lot. So, thank you.
You're so welcome.
um, oh yeah, so then we had that last week. And I thought our whole together was really fun. I enjoyed every minute of it from the second everyone got there to the great food to the great friends. We played some games. We sat down and talked. We watched some old videos. And I think overall it was just a really fun experience. And then obviously, what was really nice is we all had Monday off because of Memorial Day last week. So everyone stayed over a little later than usual, which is always fun. I enjoy it. You didn't seem like you were.
It's just too late for me.
Yeah.
When you get on a routine with some babies, you're kind of on a routine with babies.
You could have gone to bed. I could have stayed up, held them, hosted them still. I don't mind.
Not when video games are being played. Everyone was way too loud during that.
This is just Joe's.
Okay, Joe's was too loud on that.
But yeah, so then we did. We already spoke about Riverfest. That was last week's episode.
Yep.
Then it was just kind of a busy week of like back to back to back. I've been dealing with a blister on my back heel, so that's been real fun to deal with. I think this weekend has been really nice because it's allowed me to get out of my boot that I work in. What's wrong?
Be gentle, please. I got her, honey.
So yeah, um, it's just been a pretty constant struggle um, all week long, just trying to be able to work, but also like my shoe not cooperating with me, allowing me to work as I want to. Um, but yeah, like I said, I think this weekend's been really nice. It's allowed my foot to heal, so hopefully this week, and I think it allowed it to callus up a little bit so that it's not like weak skin; it's tough skin.
Yeah.
And so now I shouldn't have to deal with that issue anymore, which will be nice. I can walk normal and not limp through my day. And then back to my regular schedule, so that'll be fun.
And you'll have your day in the middle.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah. So.
So a couple funny things happened with Miss Ma'am this week. Got a phone call from some of my brothers and was talking to them on speaker, and Miss Ma'am took my phone and pushed my phone down the slide and yelled, "Wee!"
Well, that was funny.
That was great.
Because it was just unexpected. She ran away with it. She set it on the slide. And we both looked at her like, what is she doing? And then she just went, she pushed it down and then said, we. So it was like a.
It was like she was pushing them actually down the slide.
It was like a delayed reaction. Hey, Miss Ma'am, off the table. Off the table.
Can you hop down, please? Miss Ma'am. Can you get down? Or you want to sit right here? You can sit over here. Here, sit down.
Turn around.
And you just wanted a snack? You good now?
Yeah, so. What else funny happened this week that she did?
I can't remember what it was, but I wrote it down. She's also been saying a lot more words. So those have been throwing me off.
Well, she said a lot of words yesterday alone, no?
Yeah. She said Tigger. You handed her Tigger stuffed animal and said Tigger. And she said Tigger back.
Yeah, because I thought she was going to use it as a baby. So I was like, baby? And she goes, Tigger. And I go, what?
Yeah. When you brought me my chicken yesterday, I asked you for my chicken on the phone, and the chicken was in front of me, and she said chicken. So I'm like, okay. She says our dog's name. Pretty good, and she just kind of yells it out.
Hey, off the table, Stomps McGee. Cast to stomp the yard. Get down. Oh. Ah. Kiss? Kisses?
No. No. Off the table.
No, the table.
Oh, also, if you were here last week, so last week I said that we were pretty much just over $100 games in our collection. I counted them up, and we are at 207.
Off the table,
And
please.
that is not including duplicates of exact same games, but it is including different variations or expansions of our games that we do have. So if it's an expansion or a different variation of the same game, it's counted as its own. 207. So that's pretty cool.
What's crazy is the collection will continue to grow as life progresses.
Oh yeah.
At some point, we're going to pass 1,000 games, and I'm very curious what that 1,000th game is. Like I feel to me that feels like a very important milestone that whatever we need to keep track up into that point, and then once we hit 1,000, whatever game that is needs to be titled the 1,000th game.
Well, I was sorting through all the games and going through them when I was on the phone with my youngest brother. He was at his dad's house, and he's here now, so I don't know if he wants to say hi or not. But he's playing a game in the other room.
Off the table.
Yeah, I was on the phone with him, and I also told him about this podcast, and he's all, so is it a podcast just to talk shit about me? And I'm like, if I'm going to talk shit about you, I'm going to do it directly to your face on the podcast.
No, I think that's more fun. Let's talk shit about him on the podcast while he's in the other room.
Well, I mean, at least he's here under the house. So he can at least, peek in the window or in the doorway and be like, what's up, motherfucker? I also told my older brother about the podcast, and he asked the same thing. He's all, oh, so it's just a shit-talking podcast? I'm like, it's not. I didn't even mention you, but it can definitely be a shit-talking podcast if you like. But I'll probably do it to your face so that you can talk shit back. But no, I told my youngest brother, I'm like, nah, if I talk shit about you, I'm gonna do it to your face. That way you can actually have a comeback, because you're pretty freaking funny. He's a lot like me. Funny and witty, like that.
I'll hold my tongue, I guess.
Just say it.
No.
Talk shit so I can have a comeback.
No.
No. Because me and Jake, we can go back and forth.
It's just kind of weird, you know?
What?
I heard you guys didn't have comedy shows. I don't know. You're funny. I do. And it's my other podcast. I can't say what it is. I'm not allowed to.
No, he is not allowed to say the name.
But I will. No kidding. It's not. I was told not to. I promised I would.
Yeah, so a little friendly competition between this podcast and that podcast. Because he's been doing the other one for over a year now. So I kind of want to see, because he has, all the stats of, how his podcast did the first year. So I'd like to just see, how it differs from, a group of just guys. And, it's a pretty decent-sized group. Because there's 8 of them, and not all of them show up every single time.
I think it's more fun to say, this is war. It's a battle of the podcasts. Obviously, I'm impartial.
Bring it on.
I'm impartial because I'm on both of them. It doesn't matter to me. But I think for them, they took it personally when they saw that I started one with you. And I think you're just like, I don't take it personally. You guys have your own. But I think it's more fun if we say to people, if you find this podcast, if you find my other podcast and you like it better than this one, help blow up the stuff for it to show that you like that one, or blow up this podcast to show that you like this one in particular, because now it's official. The war has begun. And I think it's the best way to figure it all out is to look at analytics and determine, based off of impressions and reactions, who thought what podcast episode is better. Because, like I said, our other podcast has been around for a year now, so our views are a little bit higher because it's been around a little longer. But this is a new podcast that we're starting, and I think the best way to determine whose is better is just based off of like ratio, subscribers, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I want to see how it does, the first year comparisons, because, you have the first year data for your other one. So, we are getting live data, like, as we speak.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm very curious. I plan on using TikTok as a platform and reaching out to as many women as I can. Be like, ladies, I am at war with my husband and his friends.
Yeah, so now it's official. The war has begun between this podcast and the other podcast. So, any words of war you'd like to send to them, because in case they watch this. Okay, you're done. Off the table. Off the table, please.
Words of war. I got boobs. You guys don't. I'm not showing them off, but just saying.
Hmm.
They're kind of magical. Like, they feed a baby, they nourish a baby. Like, they are literally growing a baby. Like, I grew a baby, and now it's like they're finishing off the job for me with this baby. So I'd say that they're pretty magical. Miss Ma'am, come here. We got 2 adorable kids.
Say what you want. Jamer's got boobs. He knows he does.
You know what?
He did a podcast episode where he literally did push-ups and his camera was right on his boobs.
Nah, how many viewers did you lose from that one?
I actually think it was up. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think it was down.
Well, we got 2 adorable kids. I don't know. He's calling you out, so.
They're calling everybody out. I was gonna say Terrell, but he's been doing really well about losing weight. I don't know anymore, but I know he used to, but I think he's better. So,
I mean,
it's official. Lines have been drawn and wars have been started. So it's your.
I mean, I don't think it's official, like,
Nope.
because he's the only one that has said anything about a war. As far as I know,
Terrell said they're at war. What do you mean? Terrell started this whole thing. I'm just continuing it.
as far as I know, they're just butthurt that he's doing a podcast with me. I'm a little jealous.
I think.
Okay, I think that trash talk probably officiated the actual war.
It is. It started. All I've been trying to do is instigate it, and now it's official. It has begun.
You can't say it's official if I hadn't talked smack up until you said it's official.
I was trying to bait you into saying it, and now you said it, so it's official.
Okay, hey guys, it's official. We're at war.
All right. So, if you like this podcast, show us that you like it better than the other one, and if you find the other one and you like it better, watch them both. To be honest, but I can't say the other one, and I won't say it on the other one because.
I'm not letting him say it here, so I don't care if he doesn't say this one there.
Yeah. So, if you find them both, watch them both. Like whichever one you like. If you want to just show support to a specific person because you like that person, give them some support. Help show them up. How long is this gonna last? Like a year thing?
I mean, I'd like to see where we're at in a year. Oh, just the war?
Yeah, I'm curious how long this will take.
Probably just a year. So, a year of trash talking. But, I mean, I don't think our entire podcast is going to be centered on that because that's not why we made it. We made it for something for us.
Sure.
But the little war is a little spice to the podcast, I guess.
Well, it is on. Yeah, I guess that's all I can really say. We have to wait for the response before we can continue, I guess.
I mean, you gotta tell them to watch it so that they know that it's on.
Yeah, they watch it, they give us the views. They help our numbers.
Well, there's a lot more of them to watch this podcast than there is of us to watch that podcast.
Well, I do that podcast, so I could just tell you what they said.
You do this podcast too, so you could just tell them what I said.
Go ahead and do that too.
Or just tell them to watch it.
Nah.
Let's tell them I got a message for them. And it's...
Listen, that's going to sound like I'm a turncoat to them, and I'm impartial on both sides. But I'm going to instigate on both sides.
I mean, I'll just use our TikTok and I'll just tag all of them. I'll mention all of them. It'll be like, this episode's for you guys.
Okay.
Because it's not until the end that we started talking about it.
Okay. Well.
How long have we been going?
About 26 minutes.
I mean, do you have anything else you would like to talk about?
I don't think so. I think I got everything that I wanted to say. We, like I said, just a pretty busy week because of Memorial Day, and now here we are, the end of another week, getting ready to start another one. Uh, yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty set on what we said. Wars have been started, and I think we're good to go. So
Okay. Well, my brother's going to be here all week, so he might join us on the next podcast. He might not. I don't know.
he can at least give us some funny stories.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I think that's a good time to sign off, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead and do the closing statement.
What do you mean? Just a final goodbye?
Have you never done the closing statement before?
No, I did do the sign on and you do the sign off.
Oh, what's our TikTok?
Don't quote us on this.
That's the full TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
But it has like a weird username. But the actual.
Now I'm curious. Hold on. Time out. Filling some buffer. Talk to the people.
I got a little fussy butt. She just wants a snack. But she just had a snack and she was playing. She got some cute little cloth diapers.
Okay.
My toddler knocked some stuff down. She's fine. It was just some little quirks.
Thank you all for listening to the Don't Quote Us on This podcast. We very much appreciate you listening to episode 2. Join us next week as we get episode 3 up and running. There are talks in the background about possibly doing a Twitch live stream while we do this. Let's see what happens. Obviously, a lot of big things happening that could change the future of this podcast. That obviously were affected by the other podcast. But we thank you all for joining us anyway. My name is Kory. I've been joined by Maddie across from me. If you like what you see, you can go ahead and follow us on TikTok as well. The at don't.quote.us.on8.
But if you search "Don't Quote Us on This," you'll find it.
That's a really long username. We might have to change that to like something else.
It's just something TikTok automatically generated.
Okay, but we'll have to change that to make it a little easier so people can find it because that's really hard to say.
Dude, if you just search "Don't Quote Us on This," it pops up. It's fine.
Anyway, you'll find a link to it in the description of I guess YouTube videos. So we need to sign off to go take care of our little.
Our toddler's knocking stuff down.
About to break something. Oh my goodness. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll check. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow the podcast so you stay up to date when the next episode gets released. And help us win the war. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye!